Hello and welcome to Tennessee Football's practice facility. I'm Ryan Sylvia. This is Noah Taylor. We're with VolReport.com on the Rivals Network. And of course, it is a bye week for Tennessee football. They were back at practice today right here. They'll be back at practice again tomorrow, kind of taking the opportunity to rest up before facing Texas A&M next weekend. But after practice today, we were able to talk with head coach Josh Heupel and 3 players. So let's jump right into our takeaway, starting with Josh Heupel. Noah, what was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, just how they're handling the bye week, and obviously an opportunity for them to rest up. You've been through 5 games now, 2 of those being SEC games, get back to one-on-one in SEC play, and kind of go into the bye week with some positive momentum coming off that South Carolina win. And he gave us a little insight about how the team, the coaching staff is handling it, getting healthy, getting back here on the field like you said today, and then recruiting. That never takes a break, and obviously a huge opportunity for them in the bye week. So they were hitting 12 states this weekend between the coaches to go out and recruit. I'd imagine on Fridays, with a lot of high school games going on. And then obviously, Heupel gave us a little insight of what he's going to be doing personally on Saturday, which is kind of cool. He said he's going to see his son play Saturday morning. I imagine he doesn't get a whole lot of opportunity to see his own son play football. He's going to take advantage of that. And then he's going to watch some football with his daughter that night. And a big opportunity for him because Tennessee's next 2 opponents are going to be on TV on Saturday with Texas A&M obviously playing at Alabama. And so big opportunity for him to kind of get some film in there, I guess, too, to prepare him for next week.
Yeah, Josh Heupel said that this bye week came at the right time after the game against South Carolina, just due to kind of these injuries that whether they kind of stemmed from preseason or came early in the season, or whether it's young guys that kind of need to get that extra week of preparation to kind of get themselves prepared because they're going to have to play a bigger role due to injuries. But one of those positions is, of course, a wide receiver after Brew McCoy had his injury against South Carolina that will hold him out for the remainder of the year. There's that opening at X receiver. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be one of the freshmen or the redshirt freshmen in Caleb Webb and Chaz Nimrod, true freshman Nathan Leacock? Are they going to try to move Dante Thornton, who's primarily worked in the slot so far, but they've said can be versatile? Are they going to move him over to the outside? Heupel didn't really want to give an exact answer for exactly what that's going to look like, says it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but kind of hinted at those names that I just said, even said that maybe some guys you haven't seen a lot yet could play a factor there. So I think that with this bye week, they're really taking the time to kind of assess what they have, what they can do to replace Brew McCoy, who is such an impactful player, not just as a receiver, but also as a blocker and just kind of a leader on that team and a staple as a veteran. Seeing what they have, what they can do, and what will give them the most success this season. So that'll be something to definitely look out for against Texas A&M, and I'm sure we'll try to get an update on that as well next week when we talk with Josh Heupel again. Let's talk about players, though. Noah, what was your biggest takeaway from what the players had to say?
Yeah, it's the first time talking to Cooper Mays in a very long time, I think since the team's media day back in July and early August. Obviously, he had been sidelined since early in fall camp. We heard for weeks about him being able to kind of being slowly reintroduced at practice. Maybe he'd be available, maybe he wouldn't. And obviously he gets to play on Saturday night, significant time. And, he talked a little bit about what that process was like for him and kind of not being able to play. Said he leaned on that offensive line group as a whole to kind of help him through that moment, and his family as well. Took his little brother kind of helping him on some walks after his procedure was done, keeping him upright. And then I asked him about Ollie Lane, a guy that filled his role while he was out. Ollie Lane obviously going back to guard for that South Carolina game. And, there was some leaning there, too, for Ollie Lane to lean on Cooper Mays and to kind of help him through that transition. He talked about he did come to me a lot. I kind of helped him through that. So it seems like there's a lot of camaraderie in that offensive line group, which we kind of already knew going in. But Cooper Mays offering some insight on that, and it's kind of big to have him back out there for sure.
Cooper Mays, the guy that's been within the system for a while now, so maybe not as hard for him to come back after missing time as it would be for some other players. Some newcomers to the team, though. John Campbell Jr., transferred from Miami. Arian Carter, true freshman. They've played in Neyland Stadium before. They've had a handful of home games prior to the South Carolina game, but they talked about what it was like to play in an SEC game inside of Neyland Stadium, and you could kind of tell by both of their answers, the look on their face, that they were very impressed by the atmosphere. John Campbell kind of talking about how crazy it was to play in front of that atmosphere. Like I said, transferred from Miami. He said that's not something you really got over at Miami before, with 100,000 fans in the stadium kind of cheering like that. So that was a unique situation for him that he was really excited to take part in. And you could tell the entire game watching him too, how kind of pumped up John Campbell was. So that was really cool to see. And then Arian Carter, a true freshman, experience playing in the Swamp, so he's seen what a big crowd, and he's played in front of a big crowd, but not one that's on his side. So he talked about that different perspective of it as a true freshman, so that it really hit him running through the tee at the beginning of the game, and just kind of seeing the fireworks go off, the light show kind of going on with the sun already set. So it's really interesting to hear from both of those guys talk about their experience in Neyland Stadium. Two guys that, like I said, have played in Neyland before, but that was really the first taste of like the Neyland Stadium experience that you hear about, and that is one of the best, if not the best, in the country. So that was cool to hear as well. But that'll do it all for us today here from Tennessee's practice facility. I'll be back again here tomorrow to talk with Lady Vols coach Kelly Harper, and then next week we'll be back to the normal football schedule, talking with Josh Heupel twice during the week, talking with some assistant coaches and some players. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see all of the content, hear what the coaches and the players have to say, hear what we have to say in our analysis as well, and head over to VolReport.com for all of our written content and hop into that message board. Links to everything you need is in the description, and thank you for watching.